Hi there, Wycliffe Barrett here, X-Plane Dedicated. Today we're going to have a look at the wonderful Winwing from wingwingsim.com, the FMC for the Boeing aircraft. I use this with the Zibo. Here we are. It took 9 days to deliver from China, so if you're going to buy it, I recommend you go to the global shipping portion of the website and order it from there, and then it'll come direct. Don't use the UK store because the UK store hasn't got them in stock. So go to global shipping. Here you see it arrived, very well packaged. The tracking from FedEx is absolutely brilliant, if not a little bit addictive. So every day I was checking my phone and checking my tracking, and it went from Chengdu in China to Shanghai in China, then from Shanghai to Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam. Then from Schiphol it went to Birmingham here in the UK, and from Birmingham with FedEx it went to Pontyclean, which is not very far from Cardiff, and then my house in 9 days. Brilliant. So as you can see, it's well packaged. I'm not used to doing unboxings. I very rarely do them, but I thought I'd do this one. As you can see, it's really well packaged, very compact and very firm. Took a couple of seconds to get into it, and as you can see, it's foam filled. The unit is inside this foam as we get it out of the box here. As you can see, very, very nicely packaged. Let's just move that out of the way before I cut my fingers off. And straight away, let's just go through what's in the package. Well, we've got some sticky buds feet, which are the best I've ever come across. Brilliant. The unit will not move them off my desk. Then you've got these attachments which you can have in two different formations. So you can have them where it's slightly angled from your desk, or it's upright, almost upright. There's a little card there which is all in Chinese, which is basically just a certification to say that it's been certified as good. You get a couple of spanners and a little Allen key, very useful for attaching the feet. You've got your USB-C to USB 1 cable, so basically that's what you plug into your PC. A bag of screws and nuts and spacers and washers, and a tiny little screwdriver there, which it did come in handy, I must admit. So, but yeah, a bag of screws, lots of screws, and no instructions. And then here we have it, the unit itself. A lot bigger than I anticipated, but it's actually scale is 1:1. So if you was in a Boeing aircraft, this is what you'd find in the 737. And I must admit, having been up to Simair 737 in Gloucester Airport, and been on the full-size simulator, this unit is exactly the same. I mean, look at that, absolutely beautiful. It's made of a very hard plastic, and it feels very much like the one that I used at Simair 737. There's a little bit of a protective film on there, as you can see that, which I'll peel off at some stage. In fact, I've still got it on there now, several days later, but it feels lovely. The buttons at first reminded me of a ZX Spectrum, if anybody can remember that from Lord Sinclair, but they're very tactile, and there's a steady click. There's my tablet, my Samsung tablet, which I was using before with Web FMC, just to show you the size difference, and it's very well made. On the back there is two connections, one's USB and one is the USB-C. It says power. The one that you require says power, so you plug that lead in to the power, the USB-C, and then you plug it into the back of your computer, or a USB hub that is attached to your computer. Absolutely wonderful. And there you see me playing with that film. Shall I no, I won't take it off. I'll put it back on, leave it on there. So the putting the feet on was a little bit fiddly, and I'll tell you for why. First of all, you've got to identify which screws that you use, because in that packet there are lots of screws. I think there's 3 different lengths, and you've got to figure it out. I have attached it there. It was a bit fiddly, I must admit, because you've got to get the little nuts onto the back of the screws, and the top screw was easy enough. That one there, that was easy enough. You just hold the nut there, but that one, you had to get that nut down the little channel there and hold it and tighten it up. And then I put the feet on. They're double-sided, so they stick on. I haven't yet peeled off, just there, I haven't peeled off the bottom, so to speak, to stick it down. So let's tidy up the desk. You can see I've got the USB-C cable in there, plugged in. I'm going to tidy up the desk and put the unit where I want it. You need to download the SIMAT Pro software first. Download the SIMAT Pro software and install it onto your PC. This has to be running before your flight simulator. There's a couple of areas of this to look at, but you don't need to at all. You can just, get on with it and just install it and just let it run in default. You don't have to do anything. You see here the environment, and it's just showing you that SIMAT Pro is loaded, and then on the left side there is the actual tasks. It's preparing itself. Here you can create profiles. There's no need because we've already got one. On this page, key binding, choose X-Plane 1. That's the default setting for X-Plane and for the FMC, so you don't have to do any key binding or anything like that. The next page along is for dynamic vibration, so that is if you've got some of the Winwing hardware that's got dynamic vibration in, or even a little bit of force feedback. I believe one of the joysticks has a kind of force feedback. Here that's the dynamic vibration, and then at the end is peripherals. If you've got any other of the Winwing peripherals, they'll show up here. The FMC is there. You can change the fonts, you can change the color of things. I haven't done any of that. It is all default. Mine is default, and it looks exactly the same as in the Zibo mod. So really there is no need to mess with anything unless you want to. If your name was Dave Birch, then you would, and those of you who know Dave Birch will know him as a master fiddler. I don't think he flies Flight Simulator anymore, but anyway, a very old friend of mine. So there you have the software that runs in the background. You then start up X-Plane map enhancement, and then you start up X-Plane or whatever else you have, X-Pilot if you're going to be flying online. And that's it. So you start all your software, and I'll take you into X-Plane in a moment, and we'll have a look. This is the panel whereby you can see all of your keys. You don't need to touch this. It's just going through a calibration test there. You don't need to touch it. So let's get into X-Plane. You need to obviously create a flight plan in SimBrief, or you can just create a flight plan in the FMC. But with the Zibo mod, we have the luxury of being able to import flight plans directly into the aircraft from SimBrief, and I've done a flight plan here for Edinburgh. So I'm on the ground. We need to get power on the aircraft, otherwise the CDU FMC unit will not work. It will not power up. So you have to get power on the aircraft. As you can see, it was night time when I recorded this little bit here. So just getting some power on the aircraft. And we can turn the aviation light off in a moment. Well, let's just get rid of that. Turn the aviation light off. My flashlight, because we've got power on now. And one thing I will tell you is that even when you have power on in the aircraft, it takes a little while for the FMC to come alive. It has a delay in it, and it's all the firmware and everything going into it. See, there we go, it's come on, and now we can start using it. Now, I'm not quite sure whether you can hear, but the buttons have a distinctive click as you use it. So we're just doing our initialization, position initialization. Everything lights up. absolutely wonderful. You need to execute things as you go along and the light comes on. Unfortunately, that light isn't yellow as in the real FMC in the aircraft. It's just a white light that comes on to let you know to execute things. I'm not sure whether you can change the colour of that lamp. I'll have to have a look at that. I'm not quite sure. You might be able to do it within the software. If you can, then that's great. But as I say, it's just a white light. So here you can see me activating my route. I've already requested my route. Now we're going to go to the perf initialization page, so click on that, and here we have the perf init page. Request the perf init from SimBrief. I'm using two hands because I'm having to work around a tripod, so there's a tripod with the camera on there, and that's why I'm using two hands for different sides. There is one other thing I should tell you about, is that you can turn up the brightness of the keys, the backlighting on the keys, and you use the main light on the panel, on the lower panel in the Zibo, to turn that up. Okay, you can turn the brightness up and down of the screen using the bright button there, just above the execute button. We're going along here, we're just finishing off our M1 flaps 5 for this takeoff, and you see the V1 V speeds put in there, and just move those over, and exactly like the Zibo, they go from small font to bold font as you move them across. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, I've had this a few days now, and I've done a couple of flights and I've played with it, and I think it's going to be, well, I will never use the FMC in the sim anymore. I will just use this. It might be a bit odd when I start flying the Airbus aircraft once in a while, but I won't be buying a CD unit for the Airbus aircraft. There is one, but no, I fly the Zibo more than anything else. I can configure this for 757, or the Flight Factor aircraft as well. So 757, 767, I can configure the FMC to work with those. They may work with them by default. I haven't actually tried, but we'll have a look maybe this afternoon at that. Here you see me put in the arrival for Cardiff. It's ILS 12, runway 12 rather, a Web V1 Charlie arrival, and I'm going to use the Cardiff 2 transition. Execute that. It's a pity you can't see the backlighting, but I tried filming this at night and it was too dark, and the lighting was burning out the camera, so the exposure on the camera. So believe me, I'll put a picture at the end of the video showing what it looks like at night time lit up. Even though it'll be out of focus, you'll be able to see that. Is it worth the money? Right, so it's £133 on the website, but because of the dollar, it actually cost me 131. And using global shipping, there was no import duty from China because it was valued over £100. So there was no import duty. I didn't have to pay any carrier fees or anything. It was just a straight, simple £131 and I think 4p on the credit card. Absolutely brilliant. Here, I'm just getting the forecast for the descent winds. I did cruise winds a few moments ago. You'll have seen that, and I'm just doing the descent winds. As I say, is it worth it? Yes, definitely. If you can afford to buy this package, then I would certainly buy it. It enhances the experience immeasurably. It's a wonderful unit. It's solid. It's stuck on my desk with those feet here. I mean, I don't know how I'm going to get it off. I probably have to really work at removing it if I wanted to put it in a different position. But I'm quite happy the way it is there, as you can see, at an angle by my joystick. I did think that I might buy the desk mount for it, but having looked at the desk mount, I don't think so. I'm quite happy with this location. I've got the cable going under my PC and into the back of the PC, so cable management from this position is really good. So there you have it. £133 there, but I got it for 131. If you can afford it, buy it. I give it a full, I'm not going to say 10 out of 10 because that would mean it's perfect, but I'll certainly give it a 9.5 out of 10 for sure. Hope you found the video useful. We'll see you soon. Cheerio.